Hi guys, this is a reading for how are you guys attractive. So we have 3 piles today. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. You guys can take your time picking your pile. If you need any more time, go ahead and pause the video. The timestamps will be listed down below in the description box. All right, those of you that have picked pile number 1, the Mystic Monday Tarot, or the Stain Gloss from Wet n Wild. It's a very beautiful color. I like it. This is going to be your guys' reading. So, what makes my pile number 1s so attractive? For my pile number 1s, I feel like a lot of you guys have... I almost get the feeling that a lot of you guys are independent thinkers. So you guys, when you have an idea or when you understand something, you think about it. And I get the feeling too that you're very good at hearing both sides of a situation. Very open-minded in that regard. I don't know if you guys have like Libra placements anywhere in your chart or just if you are a Libra. But I am definitely getting that a lot of you guys, you do have this energy of being able to think deeper thoughts. And I feel like some of you guys have a unique way of thinking. Another thing that's very attractive about you guys is that you don't feel the need to be flashy or showy. So you might have like a particular style that you guys might wear or that you might have, but you don't try to go over the top. You know how with some people when they go out, they really wear bold colors or they really try and do anything crazy. You guys are a little bit more practical in what you wear, and you are very careful about like the types of colors that you wear. I feel like a lot of you guys, you might be more into darker colors. Or you like to wear a lot of darker colors. But I am getting that a lot of you guys, you're very grounded and down to earth with how you communicate and how you approach your life. And if something isn't working for you, you're not afraid to just let it go. Another thing that I think some people find interesting about you too is that you might come off as the type that you either talk too much or you don't talk a lot. So I'm getting a little bit of mixture of different people, but I feel like you know when to be quiet and when to talk. So if somebody, for instance, is giving you a hard time, it's almost like you're very wise on how you pick your battles. Sometimes you'll just ignore somebody, or other times you will try to, you might try and communicate how you're feeling about something, but a lot of the times you're very wise on who you are willing to argue with, because you realize not everybody is worth having that confrontation with. I also get that a lot of you guys, you leave a lasting impression on those around you just by how you maneuver around life. You have a very unique way of dealing, like I said, with like difficulties or obstacles. You're very careful on what you might say to people. But I'm just getting that even if you're very abundant, you don't want to brag about it. You know how people, when they get a lot of money or when they get a lot of stuff, they like to flex. I feel like this pile, you might be a very humbled pile. You don't really like to just put all your stuff out there. So I feel like you guys might be a little bit mysterious to a lot of different people. Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna actually do this. I decided I'm gonna pull some playing cards. I wasn't gonna do it, but I decided I'm going to. Just about how people might feel around you. Yeah, one of the things too is I feel like people always know, like, you're the type of person that you just seem like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of Libra or just Scorpio energy in this pile. I feel like a lot of you guys are very mysterious, but yet a lot of people can tell that you've gone through a lot in your life, which I think that you have like this weird alluring energy where a lot of people are not aware of. It's like you have depths to you that people can't quite put their finger on at first meeting you. So when people first meet you, their first impression of you, pile number one, is that there are things about you that are just like hidden, things that they feel like they can't, like there's depth to you, but you don't like advertise that. You don't just put that out there. But people can tell that you have like a lot of love to give. I think a lot of you guys might be generous and like very helpful people. But a lot of people, when they think about you, it's kind of this, it's like you give off the vibe, pile number one. It's like that double, it's kind of weird. It's like you could hurt somebody easily if you wanted to, but you don't. It's like that gentle giant approach. So people around you might feel very intimidated by you. And in fact, I don't know if you guys might notice this or not, but for instance, if say you're a girl, right, or feminine, you might notice other feminine women around you or women that they just might have such an issue being around you. They might say things behind your back or do things. And I feel like you guys have been hurt a lot by people that you thought were your friends. It's almost like you guys have just gone through a lot in your life. And it's hard to kind of explain because people don't know how to explain that. Like when they first meet you, they can tell that you have a little bit of a defensiveness, but at the same time, it's almost like they can feel that you're very warm, loving, kind, and tender. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, maybe you've dealt with a lot of people who've tried to wrong you or hurt you in a way, and it's almost like it's around your auric field, so people can sense that when they first meet you. But there is this sense of grace and beauty that you have that lures people in, because it's almost like if, for instance, if you're a feminine, you get masculine people that want to protect you or want to be kinder to you because they can sense that you've been injured before. And so I feel like a lot of you guys, you kind of give off this energy of not like the damsel in distress, but like you just kind of give off like this innocent vibe, but at the same time, there's like this toughness, this independent, resilient side of you that people see. And so it's really, like I said, it's really hard to put into words the energy that I'm picking up, but it leaves people either wanting to get to know you more, or people who are immediately like put off by you, you know? So you might be around a lot of people that you notice are like really nice and really want to get to know you, or you meet people that are just kind of rude, or they just distance themselves from you. So I get that for my pile number ones, a lot of you guys just kind of get like a mixture of how people react to you is so vastly different, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you know, what makes people attractive, it's not just the physical aspect. I think it's like 5 to 10% is actually what you physically look like, and then the rest is energetic, because the energy can change how you appear physically, you know? So a lot of times we don't really talk about that. So I feel like for a lot of you, energetically speaking, you kind of come off like prickly, but also soft at the same time. So it just depends on how people approach you, is how the energies will come out. And so I feel for a lot of you guys, maybe you've had a lot of people gossiping about you. And, you know, if you're like a man watching this or masculine watching, you might notice that other guys will try to size themselves up next to you, or they will try to belittle you in front of people. And I just feel like you guys have dealt with that. I feel like this is a pile who have dealt with a lot of jealous people, because I feel like you are physically attractive, pile number one, men and women, but you just, the problem of it is that it's almost like you just don't really see it. Again, there's this sense of humbleness. There's this sense of like, I do think that you guys take good care of yourself, whether you wear makeup or not. I feel like you guys take care of your skin, like you guys have daily routines, or you just do certain things that makes you feel good about yourself. And I feel like that does radiate. So people notice this about you guys. And I am getting that for some of you, you just deal with a lot of people who just become really jealous of you, and they're very standoffish. So it kind of reiterates back to you that, oh, I'm not that attractive, or oh, I'm not like that, because you might not get approached a lot. You guys are the type of people that like, because I feel like you guys have this standoffish energy. And it's not like it's bad. It's just this protective barrier that you put around yourself, pile number one, because you've been around so many people who have been, like I said, backstabbing or has hurt you. And it's like you've released so much in your life. And I feel that, like I said, you've probably had to let go of people. You learned how to, when to pick your battles, when to fight, when to not fight. It's like you guys have just gone through so much in your life that it's just in your aura. People can sense this. It's like a seriousness about you when people see you. And some of you guys might have what they call like that rusting bee face, but it's not necessarily bad. I know I have it. But it's just like, you come off so serious, and your energy comes off so serious because you're done with people playing with you. You're done with people playing with your heart. You're done with people backstabbing you and just being mean to you. And so I feel like a lot of people can sense that. So you might have noticed that people might distance themselves from you, or that you might notice that, you know, and it's not that, I'm not trying to make this sound like such a negative thing, because I feel like you guys have been healing and working through it. But the things that I just felt like I need to tell you guys this, only because some of you guys might say, wow, nobody really approaches me. I noticed that so-and-so said this about me. So I'm just saying that for some of you guys, you might become consciously aware of how people around you act. And it's because of that. It's because you come off serious. It's because your physical, the way that you carry yourself, it's intimidating to people of the same sex. And those type of people see you as a competition. So they try to beat you down, or try to make you feel bad, or they, like I said, standoffish. And then the people that do find you attractive, that do want to approach you, are either insecure, or they're worried about how you're going to react, because again, you're giving off this energy of don't really talk to me, don't really look at me. And it's not because you're not, like I said, like you're bad or anything. I think it's just that for a lot of you guys, you might be in this process of healing yourself and working through yourself, and you're kind of focusing on yourself and your career or whatever it is that you're going through at this time, pile number 1. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, your energy is kind of, it's like this weird, it's hard to, like I said, it's just really hard to explain. And it's not because it's bad or anything, and I feel like I have to keep saying that. It's more like you just kind of come off like you're very business oriented. It's like you have a goal, or you're focused on one thing. So for instance, when you go to the store or something, maybe you walk really fast, and you're just going in to grab what you need and you get out, right? But you might not notice people looking at you while you're doing that, because you're so focused on like a goal or onto doing one specific thing, that you don't notice the people that do look at you or the people that check you out. So I feel like for this pile, you guys are kind of oblivious to how attractive you are. And a lot of you guys, maybe you put yourselves down a lot because growing up you could have been made fun of for your looks. And I feel like that's also just due to people being really insecure. And it's like you have something about your physical appearance that is a little bit unique, like that Uranus kind of energy, that very unique, whether that's like your nose, your face, like your bone structure. There's something about you guys that stands out, that's a little bit more unique. So you're the type of person that's like, oh, well, I'm not conventionally beautiful, but you have such a unique energy and such a unique attractiveness that it's hard to even put into words, because you are very beautiful, you are very attractive, but it's not just the physical, it's like all of you. It's the energy, the imprint that you leave. And sometimes you don't even realize that your physical appearance can be ingrained into people's minds even hours or weeks after meeting you. So you leave an imprint, you do leave an impression on people. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are just doing what you can do, like to get through the day. Like I said, some of you, whether you're in a relationship or not, it's still kind of the same, the way that you come off to people. And I feel like for those of you that say are single, the reason you're having a hard time finding people is because, like I said, people are afraid to come up and approach you or talk to you because they feel like they don't know how you're going to react or how you're going to respond. And I just get the feeling too that even if you're online and doing stuff online, it's kind of the same way. It's like maybe the way that you have your profile, the way that you do certain things, it makes people a little intimidated. You just kind of come off very serious or just very, and it's not that you're not like playful or that you aren't fun to be around, because I feel like when people first meet you, you are a little standoffish. You don't just tell people everything about yourself. You're very closed off in some way. Like I feel like to a lot of you guys, you are a little bit private. But I'm getting that you guys you really are very careful on who you let into your life now. Like you use discernment because you've been hurt so much in the past. So it's almost like you're very selective and people can pick that up from you. So a lot of people, they're afraid to like shoot their shot, or they're just afraid to approach you or talk to you because of that. Also, when you kind of like resonate at a unique energy, sometimes it's hard to have people match that for you. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you do get people that are physically attractive to you, but they might not tell you that, or they might not really compliment you. And I feel like this is the pile that doesn't get very many compliments either. Like you might get a compliment here and there, but I feel like for the most part, you guys go through your daily life without really getting compliments, without really people telling you what they think. Because I'm pretty guilty of that. Like I don't really tell people, when I'll see somebody, I'll be like, oh man, she's really cute, or he's really, I don't really compliment men. I mostly compliment women. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like people will think something in their head about, like, oh, pile number one, I really like their hair today, or I really like this about them. But then they'll think it, but they'll never speak it. And so you don't really see how attractive you really are. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might have this beautiful black hair or just darker hair. There's something about you that is a little bit of a contrast. So you might have, like, say, for instance, darker hair and pale skin, or you might have darker skin and lighter hair. Like, there's something about that that does stand out a little bit. But I get that a lot of you guys, you like to wear colors, like the colors that you guys pick that you normally wear. So I feel like for some of you guys, you, like I said, you might wear darker colors, but you wear colors in such a way that it does bring out, like, the nice tones in your skin or in your eyes or in your hair. So it's like the way that you guys dress, it does feel like it suits you a little bit, and it's unique. So it suits you and it's very unique, and I feel like people do notice the style that you wear. And I feel like I said, a lot of people just don't really voice that. And I just feel like a lot of you guys, you just deal with a lot of people who are jealous and who become really jealous. And honestly, I feel like for a lot of you guys, this has some, and I don't know why, but I keep wanting to revert back to your childhood. Like, you could have had a parent, like a mother or a father figure that was jealous of you, that could have put you down. Some of you guys, like, there's something about your body that people would make fun of you for, but that is actually one of your better qualities. And I don't think you guys are consciously aware of that. So, for instance, I had a lot of people make fun of my nose because when I was a child, it got broken, like, when I was, like, a couple of weeks old. And people would make fun of my nose all the time. And now I love my nose, and a lot of people don't even realize that it was broken. And I've even had people tell me, like, oh, I think your nose is cute. But, you know, it's so interesting because people will nitpick at certain things that, like, so for instance, if you're insecure about something, energetically, people can sense that. And so subconsciously, they're like, oh, okay. And then they'll just react in that way. So I feel like for you guys, I don't know if it's like your nose or the way, like, maybe you were a little bit chubbier or something about your body that people have just really beat you down about, that made you insecure about your body in some fashion or another. But it's something that you shouldn't be insecure about, because that is something that makes you so unique, that makes you stand out. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why people would make fun of you, is because either they were jealous or because they felt like it's kind of hard to explain. Like, when people bully you or make fun of you, it's more of a reflection on their part of their insecurities. And I just feel like growing up, you know, maybe you're not bullied so much now, obviously, as when you get a little bit older, but you do still carry those wounds of people bullying you when you were a child. And I think that's another reason why you don't really see how beautiful you are now. Because it's like, it's interesting. We can look at a person and be like, oh man, they're so beautiful. Like, for instance, most models are really insecure. And it's because people, like, they have to change their body, right? Because, like, when they take pictures and stuff, they normally see the process of people digitalizing their bodies, you know, photoshopping them, not to mention just how many people that they date get insecure and then they try to bring them down. So a lot of them have very low self-esteem. And I feel like for a lot of them, it's like they're very conventionally beautiful, and a lot of people find them beautiful, but they don't see that necessarily in themselves. And so I feel like that's kind of how this pile is. So, for instance, like the other day, I went into the bank and I saw the teller, and she was really pretty, and I liked how her earrings matched her necklace, and I liked her nails, and I just kind of, like, again, I thought she had a kind of a cute little style going, and I complimented her on her style. And she was kind of like, oh, not thanks, you know, but you could tell that she didn't really take in the compliment. And as I was walking away, she turns to the other teller, which the other teller was helping another lady, and loudly says, I don't even know why she complimented me. She doesn't have anything really going for her. Well, that was really rude. I could still hear her. I didn't leave the building yet. I was walking away. But it kind of upsetted me because it was like I tried to give as many compliments as possible because I don't think people really get very many compliments. But when I got in the car, I sat down and I thought about it. And I thought, I actually feel sorry for that lady because she couldn't take the compliment that I gave. And it was a very genuine compliment. And she was nitpicking my appearance to the other teller lady. And I have my nails done. I have my makeup that I thought was very beautiful. I felt good about myself. And even if I wasn't like completely done up like I normally am, because it was raining and so I had a hoodie on, but I had a nice shirt under it. I felt good. And I think she was threatened by that. And so she had to voice that opinion. And not to mention how, what did you think she looked like to the other teller lady or to the person that was getting helped? Here I was being very nice, very considerate, and then there she is bashing me before I even walk out the door. And I think that it's just that she was so jealous. And I think that for a lot of, the reason I'm bringing this up is I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might have dealt with people like that, where maybe you're very nice to them, you compliment them, and then behind their back, they try to downgrade you because they're so insecure of you, of your energy, of who you are. She didn't, she might not have liked my style, and, her style wasn't my style, wasn't my type of style. But there's nothing wrong with that. And I was okay afterwards because all I could think of was, man, I need to just send that poor girl love because clearly she must have a lot of self-hatred. Because why would you do that, right? And especially in front of people that isn't even an employee there, she's doing it in front of customers. It was really inappropriate. And I think that for a lot of you guys, you deal with people like that, where it's like maybe you compliment them or maybe you'll just be really nice and friendly, pile number one. But then they have something nasty or negative to say about you when behind your back. Or like I said, when I turned and I started walking away, obviously I could still hear her. And and maybe you've dealt with people like that where it's like, I'm still here, But the reason I'm saying it is sometimes we need to understand that other people's insecurities is not a reflection about us. How we make other people feel about themselves is not necessarily a reflection of us. I was in a good mood. I wanted to compliment her because I thought she looked really good. Now, I think that for a lot of you guys, most of the time, I think that you just look really good, and I don't think people know how to receive that, or people are intimidated by that. And so what do they have to do? They have to beat you down. And I hate to keep saying that, but I feel like for this pile, you guys have had a lot of people who made you feel insecure. You could have dated people that you knew have said things to trigger your insecurities. I just feel like this pile, you have so many amazing qualities that make you so attractive. But people want to bring you down because they feel so insecure in your presence. And that's not your fault for that. And I just want to keep saying, I just feel like you guys are a lot more attractive than you actually believe. Because I feel like for this pile, you guys are very unique. And I just want to keep saying that. You're very unique. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you talk. I feel like your voice is unique too. People, when they hear your voice, they're like, oh, that's different. I just get the feeling that you guys are just very different. And when people stand out, that makes other people really insecure because then they're like, oh, they're shining and they're different and they're standing out. And people try to blend in. And I feel like for this pile, maybe you guys used to stand out a lot. And now maybe you tried to blend in because you just don't want to deal with the hate or you just don't want to deal with people. So I feel like for this pile, you guys could be a little bit of loners, or you guys are just very, like I said, kind of keep to yourself a lot. And I just feel like I just need to let you guys know, like, people are noticing the way that you look. And I get the feeling that people are very intimidated by the way that you look, and it's not your guys' fault. I just feel like a lot of you guys, you deal with a lot of people that are very insecure. And I just feel that a lot of you have gone through so much hardships with people. And with that Eight of Wands, I'm getting to, and even here, it's like you guys are healing. You guys are healing the past pains that people have put on you. And I just get to that when it comes to, it's almost like you guys just feel like no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you always get like somebody that's going to judge you. And I think that a lot of you guys have dealt with a lot of people who've gossiped, a lot of people who've put you down, and it's just because they were so intimidated and they were so jealous of you. And so I feel that for a lot of you guys, that is one of the main reasons why maybe you guys just don't see how attractive you really are, because maybe you have like some kind of like, oh, I'm pretty, like you might notice some qualities of you that are good, but you don't notice that the qualities that people put down, the qualities that you maybe gotten like teased for, those are just as prevalent, if not more, because people try to make you see yourself differently. So it's like I said, kind of just back to that like lady, like she couldn't take a compliment. And seeing that I was so happy and bright and wanting to just show love, I think really made her feel, when people around you, pile number one, you might be a little bit like that. Like you might have that uplifting energy where maybe you want to show love to people, you care about people. And I think that a lot of people, they try to beat that out of you, or they try to make you feel bad for that. And so it's like you have to think about, where did the source come from? Like when people talk trash about you, it's more, like I said, is it because of envy or jealousy? Like what is it about you that makes people want to attack your character or attack you? And so that's kind of how I feel. Like when I see this pile, I just think you guys, sometimes you need to really stop and think about it. Like, why did this person talk bad about me? And really think about it for like a second. Like if I was this person, because you have to think, we think of ourselves differently. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I nitpick myself. Oh, I don't look good here or there. But like other people will never even notice that, And then when you go out in the world, you appear so different to others than you do to yourself. So it's like, if you could put yourself in someone else's shoes, well, why would this person say this about me unless they were jealous? And it's as sad as it is, we live in a world that is very judgmental. And I felt like for a lot of you guys, you have just had that mirror to you a lot growing up, where a lot of people have really judged you for who you are, for the beautiful uniqueness that you are. And I just kind of get the feeling that you maybe, just like I said, don't really see how amazing you guys are. And because of that, it has led you guys to maybe downplaying yourself a little bit more, or afraid to really put yourself out there. Like, for instance, I could have just taken that and been like, man, maybe I really wasn't as attractive, or because like I kind of heard what she said, and it was just kind of really rude. And I could have internalized that and said, man, I just didn't look as good as her apparently, and I just wasn't like this or that. But no, instead I looked at it and thought, man, how sad is that? Like, you know what I mean? And instead I took that and thought, well, then that must mean I look damn good if she was so intimidated that she had to voice that in front of customers and in front of the other lady. It was just kind of like, I think you've had dealt with things like that, pile number one. So you need to really think about it in those ways. Instead of taking it, internalizing it as personal attack, think about from that person's perspective. Like they felt probably insecure and they see something in you that you might not see in yourself, right? And so people, they like to, if like, personally, I don't see the point in spreading hatred to people unless there's something that that person did or said that triggered you. So I felt like I triggered her, and I think you just do that with people, pile number one. I think that your energy just triggers people. And instead of taking it personally, realize that it's that person's baggage. It's not your baggage to carry. And you should never downplay yourself or put yourself like, don't feel bad about the way that you look or the way that people have judged you, because you are so unique and you're so different. And that's really what makes you very attractive. Like people, they do pay attention to you. And I think that makes other people mad because I think you've been around people that maybe didn't get as much attention as you did, whether you were aware of it or not, because sometimes we're just oblivious to our surroundings and to other people if we're not paying attention. And I feel like other people, they see that and they get angry or they get upset about that, and they might want to use that against you. So just be consciously aware of that, where is this hatred coming from? Where is this judgmental people coming from? Because it might say a lot more about them, and it might show you more of where obviously you triggered them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I didn't mean to make that a little bit about me here, but I just felt like that kind of went with what you maybe have been experiencing, is just people who want to judge you and put you down and might even do it in front of your face. Or like I said, when you walk away, you might be hearing people talking about you. And I feel like over a time it has worn you down a bit, but like realize, where is this jealousy and this envy coming from? Because I feel like you guys have, and it's really hard to put my finger on it, like fully on how attractive you can be, because it's almost like people will never tell you why you're so attractive, and you're not consciously fully aware of how attractive you are, because this is like the pile that's like, oh yeah, I'm not that attractive, whatever. But I feel like you guys really are. There's something about you that is just, you're very like alluring, but it's also like this hard and soft side to you that you show people. And I feel that even if you have that prickly energy around somebody and say like, oh yeah, you give off the energy of like, don't talk to me, there's still this sense of gentle and calm and kindness that radiates from you, even when you want to like kind of keep people away. So you have this very confusing, contradicting energy about you that people, so like they don't really know how to like act around you, or they don't really know how to approach you. And that might make you feel like you're less attractive, but in actuality, it's just because you kind of have this mixed of like, I want somebody to talk to me, but I don't want somebody to talk to me. And it's very confusing to the opposite sex, and it's very confusing to perhaps even you in a way, because I get the feeling that my pile number ones, because you guys have gone through so much, you don't really realize, again, how attractive and how amazing you really are. And so you just kind of walk through life being like, oh, nobody really likes me. But then there's like 10 people that are talking about you, or that follow you, or look at your photos, or notice you, but you're not even consciously aware of them, because they maybe are afraid of the rejection. They're afraid of how you're going to come off. Because I feel like for this pile, like I said, you could have dated people that were insecure and they tried to bring you down by beating your self-worth or your self-esteem. So I just feel like this pile, you guys have gone through a lot, and you've been through a lot of people who have given you guys a lot of crap, and has really nothing to do with you as a person or your actual appearance. I just feel like you really know how to bring out the insecurities in others, which is not a bad thing, because obviously that just makes you a little bit more powerful if you can actually influence people that much. So I just feel like you guys, like, I really want to make it kind of clear, like, your attractiveness is how beautiful, like, even when you've gone through so much, pile number one, and even though you've had a lot of people telling you terrible things about yourself or just try to lower your self-worth, you still have this sense of kindness, and you still are very humble and caring and loving, and you do really try to be there for other people. And that's another thing that's just really attractive about you, because you could just be bitter and mean, and you could just try to spread further negativity, but instead you choose not to. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you have just, like I said, been around a lot of people who really hurt you and upset you, but you know deep down inside that you deserve better than that, you know? And so I'm just kind of here to tell you guys, like, just because you've been around people who have beat you down or who have told you that you're worthless, or, like I said, like, people just judged you on your appearance or judged you for little things, it's it's not because of you as a person. And I feel like people try to stop you from really voicing yourself, because you have a very unique way of thinking, a very unique way of talking, and I feel like you might have been made fun of for that. There's definitely something here where people try to make you so you won't stand out as much. People really try to dull your light, dull you down. And I feel like pile number one, even if, say, for instance, you did dim your light, you did, like, dull yourself down a bit, it's still very visible. It's still very known how beautiful and unique you are. So I just feel like I really wanted to point that out for you guys, because I feel like you guys really need to speak your truth. You really need to be a little bit more kinder to yourselves. And also just know, pile number one, that the people around you, they do, like, admire a lot of different qualities that you have that they wish that they could obtain. And so they don't really tell you that. Like I said, I think you get a lot of people that compliment you, but they compliment you in their head and they don't voice it. And I feel like you are just not consciously aware of how beautiful you really are because of that. And a lot of times maybe you just kind of come across people that, like I say, that can just be really rude to you or talk behind your back a lot. And then it gets back to you and you're like, oh man, I can't believe so-and-so said that about me. So it's like, don't be insecure, because I feel like you've been around a lot of haters or you've been around a lot of judgmental people. Because the truth is, pile number one is, you're very unique and you're very special in your own way. And I think that you have a lot that you can teach people. And that's another thing that's very attractive about you, like I said, is just your mind, the way that you think, the way that you process things. And I feel like you guys are just very humble about the way you go about your life and the way that you do things. And so I feel for a lot of you guys, it really just kind of makes people intimidated, because they think that, man, pile number one just thinks they're all this or they're all that, because they're projecting onto you. And a lot of the things that people think or say about you is just like their own figment of their own imagination. I feel like you guys might get people who even daydream about you from time to time. Like, for instance, you might have somebody at your work or something that does have a crush on you, or you're just around somebody that has a crush on you and they just don't talk about it, but they might, like, daydream about you. So it's like you kind of are that person that can mold into people's fantasies, but people just don't really voice it. And it's because, again, a lot of people are very insecure. They're afraid of being rejected, or there's just lots of reasons why people don't talk or don't say anything. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's kind of where you are right now currently, is you're in this stage of like, oh, not very many people find me attractive, not very many people like me in that way. But it's not true. It's just that, oh, like I said, a lot of people, they have their own reasonings for why they might not approach. and a lot of people are also just like intimidated by you. And I feel like that you're very smart, and a lot of people can sense that about you, and maybe even the way that you communicate or talk about certain subjects, especially subjects that you really like to talk about. I feel like it really makes people like insecure because they don't know all of that, or that they're just not as smart. And so some people feel like they can't really match your energy. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's just like, be kinder to yourselves. Know that you do deserve to be loved, and that the qualities that people made fun of you for, I really want you guys to re-examine that and really ask yourselves the vital questions of like, okay, why would this person say that about me unless they were triggered in some way? And really think about it, because a lot of the times when people throw shade or they hate you, it's because you're shining bright in some way that they cannot live up to, and that they take offense to because they don't think that they can require that in themselves. So let's pull here the Power of Love deck. I also think that you guys might have really, I don't know, something about maybe your eye shape too. When people look into your eyes, they feel like you might be able to see right through them, and that makes people kind of insecure too. Like they feel like very transparent around you too. I also feel like you might be the type of pile that might be like, pays attention to details too, and that also makes people really uncomfortable, because you might even say things like, oh, so-and-so is wearing this, or so-and-so is doing this, and then you'll just do like, you'll go on a whole detailed tangent about how this person, like how they look or how they come off, and you're very detail oriented. And I think that's another thing too, is people are like insecure because they're like, does my breath stink? Like, is my shirt on right? Like, you kind of make people, especially if, like I said, if you're like when you're around the same sex, a lot of them feel like they have to make themselves look a little bit extra better, or they just feel jealous because they just don't think that they have, like, when they're compared to sitting next to you, they feel like they don't look as good. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like they feel like the ugly friend, So you kind of give off that vibe. So I just feel like that's something too, is like you're very humble. And as I do that, I pull humility. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same, but on different paths. Yeah, I feel like you guys just very humble people. And I think that's another reason why it's so hard for people to like voice their hatred or voice their insecurities around you or about you, because you come off very humble and grounded and down to earth, and you're very kind. And I don't think that, like, even when you're having a bad day, even if you snap at somebody, you always apologize afterwards. You're like, I'm sorry I yelled, or, oh, I'm sorry I acted this way. And you might even like be the type of person who's like, I'm just going through a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you're just always kind of that person that takes accountability. So you really live in this world where you're just kind of like, you take accountability for the things you say, the things you do. You try to take better care of yourself. Like, you're more consciously aware of like your body and like where like you can improve. And I feel like you guys try to improve on yourself, and people notice that, and that just makes people really insecure. Because, say for instance, pile number 1, I just feel like you guys do not look the same every year. You know how some people, they wear the same clothes for years, or they like don't change much of their style. I feel like you're the type of people that would, like, one day you might dress kind of gothic, and the next day you dress kind of girly. You might have a little bit of a change in your wardrobe, or or say just next year you don't look the same because you changed your wardrobe. Like you're always updating your looks or updating yourself in some capacity, and that makes people really insecure. And even if you don't do it, say physically, mentally, emotionally, like you're always evolving, pile number one. And that just really makes people insecure because they just feel like they can't keep up with what you do. And I feel like you just have a lot of haters around you, and you might not even be that consciously aware of it, but I feel like a lot of you guys are aware of it, which is why the Judgment card came out like that. I just feel like you guys are aware that there's a lot of people that just don't like you and you don't know why. And that's why. It's because you're constantly changing. You're always evolving. You're not staying stuck. And a lot of people, they stay stuck. We also have here purpose. You possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys, you just bring joy to people. Even when you're having a bad day, you always try to still put your best foot forward, even when it's difficult. And I feel like you guys walk in a sense of purpose, or you're figuring out your purpose right now. Pile number one, I feel like some of you guys might not know your purpose yet, but you're on that path. You are consciously saying, what is my purpose in life? What am I trying to achieve? And it's like you're always thinking about your goals. You're always thinking about the things that you want to accomplish. And that just really intimidates people. And that's another thing that just makes you so attractive. We also have commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your every being. Yeah, you guys might be committed to something, whether that's a relationship or, like, again, something that you do. There is something that you are right now currently being very consistent in your life, and it's a commitment that you've made to yourself, or some kind of like thing that you are working on daily, and people are noticing that, and it's intimidating people as well. So at the bottom of the deck, we have empathy. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. Yeah, I feel like you guys are just very empathetic people. You really care about people. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. You just come off very loving, very nurturing, very caring. And believe it or not, that really upsets a lot of people. You know, in a world of negativity, and you know, we also have positives and negatives, but it's so much easier to be negative. You know, it really is. And I feel like for you guys, you just try your hardest to make every day a little bit better than what it was yesterday. And it's like you always try to find the optimism in things. And it's like you're the type of person that even though people have hurt you, you don't want to spread that hurt. You know how they're always like, oh, hurt people, hurt people. You don't want to bring more hurt to people. You don't want to bring more negativity into people. And so I feel like you guys try your best to be more understanding and more loving to people. And that also just really intimidates people and makes people really mad. So I just feel like I really needed to kind of clear this with you, pile number one, because I feel like a lot of you guys have, like I said, you walk in purpose. You act like you have a purpose. Whether you are, for instance, if you're oblivious to, like, I don't know what my purpose is, a lot of people think you have your shiz together. A lot of people think you know what you're doing in life, even if you don't think you do. So you just come off very reassured. You come off very committed to things. You come off very caring. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, what you're committed to is your spiritual growth. What you're committed to is loving yourself a little bit more. I feel like some of you guys have been trying to be on the self-love journey, and it's really starting to show, and it's making a lot of people really insecure. So just be consciously aware of that. Like, why is this person hating on me? And just really think about it, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might internalize that and take it personally, but you don't need to take that personally, because it's just a reflection on how they feel about themselves. And when they see you trying to be a better person, they see you trying to be a loving, kind, generous person, that just shows them everything that they don't think they are. You know, so it's like you can't take everything super personal here. So I'm going to pull the last deck here for the Kuan Yin Oracle. Kuan Yin is by far probably my favoriteest feminine energy. I love Kuan Yin. She is the goddess of mercy. She is, in Chinese, like they talk about in Hinduism, she is just this beautiful, just this beautiful goddess that chooses to walk the earth because she hates to see people suffer. And so she gives mercy on people for their sufferings. And she's the goddess for like forgiveness and like just wanting to take the pain of others and ease them. And I find that so inspirational. So she's just like my favorite deity to work with. I really love Kuan Yin, and I felt like this is just a very appropriate cards to use for this reading. And so let's just do it. Your enlightened heart. The wish of the Divine Mother is that you become free. Enlightenment is a culmination of many small steps. Each one has a drop of water forming a divine ocean of peace, realization, love, and unity within. An ocean that washes away fear, separation, and scarcity and bathes us in abundance and bliss. You carry the torch of enlightenment within your heart. Let it shine. You guys, it's beautiful. Honestly, you guys try to spread love and joy in your life, and a lot of people appreciate it. Even though I have felt like I kind of focused a little bit on the hate, I think it's just because that's the thing that you notice the most. But there are so many people that you have helped, that you have touched, and I feel like you just need to realize too that keep going on the path you're going, pile number one. Don't let people deter you from who you are. I feel like you guys have been really working on yourself, and I feel like this is something that is a long time coming here. A lot of you guys have been working on, I feel like you guys have been working on your fear of separation with people. I feel like everybody has a scarcity mindset, and I feel like you guys have been working on that, where you're trying to become more abundant. You're trying to work on letting go of fears and insecurities that you've had. And I feel like I said, it's really showing, it's really reflecting. So whatever it is that you're doing, pile number one, keep doing it. Stay on the path that you're on, because I feel like you guys are going to start making waves and changing people. And I feel like the people that are going to hate, they're the biggest people that need the most love. And I feel like you guys are aware of that too. And so I feel that for a lot of my pile number ones, it's just keep shining. Don't dim your light for anybody, even when people feel the need to make comments about you. So that's what I have for my beautiful pile number one. This is why you guys are so attractive. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I wish you guys the bestest luck. Have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye. All right, those have picked pile number two, which is the Light Seekers Tarot, or this Wet n Wild Catsuit lipstick. It's really beautiful. I really love this color, you guys. It's so bright. All right. So let's see. What makes you guys so attractive? What makes my pile number twos so attractive? All right, so we have the Queen of Cups, the Judgment card, the Eight of Cups, the Five of Swords, the Fool, the Ten of Swords, and the High Priestess. And then we have the Death and Rebirth, which is just the Death card. So, what makes my pile number twos so attractive? So, I don't know why, but I'm getting so far already. Just if you guys have if you guys are water signs, I'm getting a lot of Cancerian vibes, or Pisces vibes. There's something about you guys that is very watery. You guys might be very emotional, or not even necessarily emotional, but you just kind of, maybe you wear your heart on your sleeve. Like, people can just read the emotions on your face. So for instance, you might just be like upset, and somebody would be like, what's wrong? Because they can just read it off your face. Like, you're just very you express yourself. You're very expressive, and people are very aware of it, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Pile number 2, you guys are just very expressive. Another thing that I get that makes you guys very attractive is you're the type of people that try not to judge other people. Maybe you used to be a very judgmental person, and now it's like you've been trying to consciously not be so judgy, or like I said, you're just really trying to be kinder. So I feel like for some of you guys, you have evolved. You're not the same person as you was. I'm even getting like 6 months ago. Like you guys change. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you try not to gossip. I feel like this is the pile that you're very kind. It's like maybe, I don't know why. This is not going to be for everybody, obviously. But like my grandmother used to say, like, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I feel like that might be some of your guys' mottos. Like, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say anything at all. And a lot of you guys, you've walked away from people that were judgmental or people that just weren't for your highest good. And I'm getting that a lot of you guys, you're working on healing through a lot of your own issues and traumas that you've experienced in your life because you don't want to feel the pain that you felt. So for this pile, I feel like you guys, you're very bold. And I think that's interesting because this is very bold. This is like a fire engine red almost, What color is this even in? Missy and Fierce. That's the Missy and Fierce. I don't think you guys can see it. I don't think it's going to, it's not going to focus. So you guys are very fierce people. You are very outgoing, you're very bold, and even if, say, for instance, you guys might not have the personality of being like bold and fierce, you just appear that way to people. A lot of people feel like they just cannot touch you, or that there's just like it's like you are so undeniable. People notice you. People cannot, it's like when you walk in a room, all eyes are on you. You're that friend, You're that friend that it's like the party doesn't start till you walk in. And that's how you are. It's like you have a very big, bold energy. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, you've had maybe anxiety or depression, or you've gone through a lot of like, you talk bad about yourself internally, and I think that a lot of you guys, you're realizing that pattern in yourself, and you're trying not to be like that anymore. So I feel like a lot of you guys are in this process of trying to speak kinder to yourselves. Maybe you don't like, because I just get the feeling that you guys are going through a time in your life right now where you're not sure where your future is gonna go, and it's like you're just gonna have to take that leap of faith. You're just gonna have to jump up and go after your goals or go after what it is you want, pile number 2. And so it's like maybe you're a little bit anxious at this time. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, you might have a lot of insecurities, but people don't see you that way. So it's like how you feel internally about yourself is not how other people perceive you. Because for instance, like you could be kind of shy and maybe you're a little bit afraid, but like when you meet people, you still talk and you're very talkative and you don't mind having conversation with people. And so when people think about you, they're like, pile number 2 isn't shy, but you know what I mean? So it's like your internal world is not being reflected as much on the external. So a lot of people, they don't see your struggles that you go through. And I don't think you necessarily tell people everything that you're going through anyway. So people, they kind of see you in such a way, like, I feel like you have a lot of admirers, pile number 2. You have a lot of admirers, and you have a lot of people who talk about you a lot because you are just so unique and so bold. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, you've gone through a lot in your life, especially from like I almost want to say in a 5-year span, you guys have had ups and downs and you guys have handled it like a pro. Whether you realize it or not, like even if you, like I said, people can read expressions on your face, people still don't know what you're going through. They can say, oh, pile number 2 is going through a bad day today, but they don't realize that you've been going through a bad day for like a week to 2 weeks or longer, because you're so private, I think, about how you express yourselves. And a lot of you guys, you second guess yourself. So with that high priestess, what I'm really getting here, why it's in the reverse, is only because you self-doubt a lot. But people, when they see you, they don't think that you're full of doubt. You just come off like you know where you're gonna go, and you kind of seem like the person that's a little bit spontaneous, that you're more of like that go-getter, that person that just goes out and does things and just has fun, and like you don't have a care in the world, but really you're like questioning yourself. You're wondering about who you are as a person. Like you're very conscious of yourself. And a lot of people, they think that you're just really reassured about who you are, but like you have some kind of goal or there's something that you want to do, pile number 2, and it's going to require you to have that courage and that drive to go after it. But I feel like you have it inside of you, and everyone around you, I don't know how to explain it. You guys are full of like, oh man, I don't know if I should do that, or oh, I'm second guessing myself on this, or I don't know if I should do this or that. And then it's just, but everybody else around you is just like, oh, pile number 2 is so sure of themselves. They can do anything. So I don't know why, but people really just look at you that like, as if you're just super accomplished, that you know what you want, that nothing can hold you back. And it's just like you have this energy about you, pile number 2, that you can just go after your dreams or your goals or just do whatever you want. And I feel like because of that, you just get a lot of people that try to use you or want to be your friend so that they can just like, it's almost like you might attract a lot of energy vampires to you because you have this magnetic energy and this magnetic pull that makes people want to flock to you. You have this healing energy, and I think that you've been around a lot of people who've had rough backgrounds or people who have had a lot of issues, and it's like they want to be around you because they want to get that healing, loving energy that you just emit out into the world. And so I feel like for you guys, you're just you don't realize how you kind of come off and how you have this ability to heal and to work through. Like with people, they just feel like, man, if I could be pile number 2, like you just have a lot of people that wish that they could be you, or that wish that they had qualities that you have. Like people might not want to necessarily be you, but they just wish that they had like this bold energy that you obtain, that you carry around. I also just get that you're the type of people that you go through a lot of deaths and rebirth cycles, but you go through a lot of death and rebirth cycles inside of yourself. So every single day you're changing bit by bit, but people around you are not noticing that because it's like little minute changes that turns into big results. So you know how a lot of successful people, they always say work in silence, that they just take it day by day, little step by little step, and eventually they get to where they want to go in life. And then next thing, it's almost like people just spring up and become successful overnight, but actually it took long dedication and long times and hours and work that they put into it to become that way. But everybody else around them is like, oh man, this happened to them overnight. But really, it's like, no, they put a lot of effort and time into that. I feel like you guys are that way. Because you might be saying, like, you might be healing, and like, I don't know if you guys meditate or you do a lot of affirmations. There's something that you guys do, pile number 2, that helps you transform, but you're doing it day by day, and you might not even notice the results right away, or you might not notice everything that but every little thing that you're doing is helping you reach to that success, is forcing you to move into that success. And I feel like because of this pain and because of the hurt that you have experienced in your life, it has led you guys to wanting to become more efficient in your life, and it's caused you to want to heal yourself more. So I feel like you guys are walking away from people who are not serving your highest good. You might be walking away from jobs or family members or your old parts of yourself that is just not serving you anymore. So I feel like for my pile number 2, you guys have this strong, it's like the strength, it's this determination that you carry that makes you so attractive. And this can go for like, masculine and feminine energy, because obviously we're going to have either side of us is going to be masculine and feminine. But if you're like, say, a male watching this, you have a lot of guys around you that are intimidated by how you are becoming more successful in yourself. For this pile, I feel like you guys try to take really good care of yourself physically. I also get this, I don't know why, but for some of my women, my ladies here, you guys might like to wear a lot of dresses, or you like to just wear clothes that they are most of these women are wearing dresses. And I feel like you guys dress really well. You like to wear dresses. You're very feminine in a way. Like, you just come off very, like, the way that you wear your clothes is so attractive. You take really good care of yourself. And I think that that really is starting to show more and more. But I'm just getting that for a lot of you guys, this is the pile that is like entrepreneurial pile. Or if you're not creating your own business, it's like you're creating your own success. And let's be honest here, success is what you think success is. Everybody has a different definition of what is success. And so just because, say, for instance, pile number 2, you're not making a lot of money, you're not doing certain things, doesn't mean that you're not successful. I feel like a lot of you guys, you are working towards certain outcomes and you are becoming successful in it. Whatever your focus is currently, that's where you're becoming more and more successful at, because you've just been putting a lot of your time, your energy, and your effort into it. And I feel like you guys are just that pile that when you have an idea or when there's something that you want to accomplish, you're not afraid to try to go forward, even if you have a lot of doubts and fears. But I feel like sometimes your doubts and fears can kind of get in the way. And I think that that is something that you guys are currently working through at this time. It's like you're not wanting to really hurt yourself or put yourself in a position that you don't want to be in the future. So you guys are very careful. You're very smart about the decisions you make. And that's what I'm saying too, is like inside your mind, like inside internally, how you're feeling and how you're thinking, you are like, oh, I don't want to do this because in the future this might cause me issues. But then externally, people are like, oh man, pile number 2, they're so much fun. They just do things like on a whim or on this. But no, you thought about it. You took time, pile number 2, to think about some of these things before making a move, before deciding. It's just that maybe those people, they don't see your thought process to getting to that point. You know what I mean? So you guys come off very happy-go-lucky, having fun, but really, you guys are very serious people, So the way that you're projecting externally from you is not how you are internally. Because like I said, you might have a lot of self-doubt. You might have a lot of insecurities about, oh, can I really do this? Should I do this? But everybody else around you is like, man, pile number 2 is so sure of themselves. So I just get that you guys are really you have your own insecurities, but people don't notice that as much. Like, you might be afraid that people, like, oh, what do people think about me? A lot of people think really positive about you. And I think that that also might bring a lot of haters, or a lot of people that maybe they try to downplay your success. And here's another thing too. I feel like this is just my successful pile. Pile number 2. Again, like I said, success is different for everybody. So what one person might not find successful, another person will. But I feel like for you guys, a lot of people think you're very successful. A lot of people think that you are very well put together in a lot of ways in life, even when you don't feel like you are. But like you guys, I think what your main goal is, pile number 2, is you just want to be happy. You just want to be happy. You don't want to be in pain anymore. You want to let go of any past hurt that you've experienced. And I feel like you guys just want to release that. And I think that for a lot of you guys, you've been putting in a lot of effort into healing yourself, into letting things go. And I think that that is really starting to change and shift and show. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you are putting in a lot of work and dedication towards yourself, and people are noticing that, and people are becoming consciously aware of that. And I feel like you might intimidate people because of that. You have this energy, pile number 2, that you are, like, you're not afraid to start all over again. You know, you're not afraid to walk away from things that just are not working in your life. So I feel like this pile, you guys are very successful, and you're going to become successful, because even though you might be scared, or you might have like a lot of insecurities about trying to become successful or trying to make a name for yourself or do something for yourself, I feel like you guys have a lot of bright ideas, and you guys are very aware of what it is that you want. And I think that a lot of you, you're working towards those goals. Another thing that I'm getting to is you guys really love animals, or you like animals, or you have pets, and you take really good care of them. You really love and care for animals. And I think a lot of people, they really like that about you. That's another thing that's really attractive about you, is how kind, loving, and nurturing you are. I feel like you guys are the type of people that you check up with your friends, or you check up with your loved ones, because you want to make sure that they're okay. You care about them. You want to make sure that they are doing all right. And I feel like that is kind of where you guys are. So for my pile number 2s, I get the feeling too that a lot of you guys are in this moment of transforming something in your life. You're about to start doing something brand new here soon, and I think you're kind of afraid about what this future is going to hold for you. So I feel like some of you guys are very anxious at this time, and I don't think you need to be. I think you guys are going to be able to handle it. You just need to trust yourself more. So whatever this endeavor is, whether this is creating a business, whether this is moving, or just, again, healing something inside of yourself that you feel like is not lovable or not acceptable, there's something here that it's like there's a lot of anxiety that I feel like my pile number 2s have. And I just think that when you can learn to trust yourself a little bit more, then only will you be able to really see how far you can truly go. But honestly, you guys come off very attractive because you come off very sure about yourselves. You guys come off like you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You just come off very competent. And I feel like another thing too is that you guys also, like I said, you might want to wear bold colors, or you dress in bright colors. So that's another thing that stands out with you guys. So let's pull some cards here just from playing deck that I have, just to kind of get a little bit more. But yeah, it just feels like you guys are really going to make a name for yourself. You're going to be really known. And I feel like you guys, whether you realize it or not, you are very popular to a lot of people. Yeah, there's something here about a lot of you guys have just gone through a lot of betrayal or just a lot of hurt in your life. I'm also just getting to that is something that you guys have just been working on, and that's been your main focus right now, is probably getting over some of these insecurities. And I think that once you can too, it's going to really help you with your anxiety. What's also just kind of interesting too, though, is people just really see you as stable, and like you might, like I said, be very anxious and nobody notices it. like, you really have no idea, like, how well you come off to people in a lot of ways. You just, like, you might like be going through like a whole upheaval, and it's like, but it's almost like, I don't know why this popped in my head, but this did. It's like when people, like, they're gutting the inside of their house and they're just smashing the walls and they're just trying to, like, rip apart everything in the house, but outside the house looks really nice and really beautiful. That's what's going on with you guys right now. Like, your external is not matching the internal right now. But I feel like that a lot of people see you in a very positive way. But I also feel like you're the type of person that, what makes you attractive is you're the type of person that's, like I said, always there for other people, and you're always checking up on people. You're always there for people. But, like, I feel like you wish that somebody would just do that for you too. Like, you just kind of wish that people would give you the love and the support that you need. But a lot of people might not feel like you need that love or that support. Not because, like, and I don't think people really realize how much maybe you just need somebody to listen to you. But I feel like some of you guys are going to make some, like, major life decisions right now. And that is going to actually propel you guys forward in life, which is going to make you more attractive. You just seem like the total catch, pile number 2. You come off like a catch to people. You just seem like you have your life really put together, and people really see that. And again, I just don't think you guys realize how attractive you are, because, like, for instance, you have people that always talk about how hot you are or how attractive you are, but they might never admit that to you or tell you that. But you just kind of have this energy about you that is just very fiery, very it's kind of like you just have this undeniable energy towards yourself. Like, people, when they think about you, you might even have people who really fantasize about you. You just kind of come off like the whole package. People really enjoy spending their time with you. And I feel like you guys, even if, say, for instance, because this is what's kind of weird, I feel like you guys have maybe friends that you go and hang out with, but, like, you're kind of a loner in a way too. Like, yeah, you hang out with people, and yeah, you'll go out and do stuff, but there's this sense that, like, you don't really need anybody, and that also makes you really attractive. Even if that's not true, obviously we all need somebody. We're all social creatures. But you just kind of come off like you could take it or leave it when it comes to dating or being in a relationship. Like, even, so for instance, if you're single right now, you have a lot of people that are eyeing you right now. And that's one of the things that is attractive about you, is you have people that have, like, you're seen as competition to people of the same sex. And and it's like the people that do like you are like this catch that everybody wants. So whether you're realizing it or not, pile number 2, you have a lot of people that are attracted to you, and they see, like, for instance, say you have a friend and this friend has a crush on you and they really like you, but they know that 3 or 4 other people like you too, because they've heard of those people talking about you, and they just know that this person likes you. So they're kind of like keeping an eye on you. You know what I mean? Like, you have people like that in your friend group, or just people around you that actually like you. And I also don't know, but for some of you guys, I get the feeling that you guys might be the type of pile that exercises or goes to the gym, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're very, like, this might be my pile that I would say is you focus on your health. you focus on taking better care of yourself too. And even if you don't, it's like you're the type of person that maybe you don't overindulge in food too much, or you don't overindulge in certain things. Like you have some kind of self-control or some kind of restraint. And a lot of people find that very attractive, because you'll be surprised how many people don't have restraint or doesn't actually take the time to take care of themselves. But I feel like you guys have worked on your boundaries, pile number 2. You've worked on your boundaries. And because of that, you're even more attractive, because it's like, man, not everyone can just step up to pile number 2. And I feel like you guys might have standards too when it comes to dating. So a lot of people are aware that you're looking for a specific type of person, or like you're not just easily the one to settle down with just anybody. Like you would rather be alone than to be with the wrong person. And if you're in a relationship, a lot of people are jealous that you're in a relationship. Like there are a lot of people that are around you that are rooting for your relationship to fail, because they want to get a chance to be with you. As messed up as that sounds, you just have a lot of people that just find you physically attractive. And again, there's also, just like I said, like people honestly don't feel like the party is starting until you walk in. Like people wait for you. People will be like, oh, we can't do this without pile number 2. Like where's pile number 2? So people really like you and they really enjoy their time with you. And I feel like a lot of people around you, like I said, might see you as competition, or that there is a lot of competition to get your attention, because I feel like you're just very focused on yourself right now, pile number 2. Like maybe in the past, you guys maybe focused on a lot of other people, and maybe you just kind of like would chase people, or would have your own, like it's kind of like you had your own insecurities about dating. And I feel like a lot of you guys, maybe you've pulled back and you're like, no, I need to really deal with my own issues, deal with my own stuff. And because you've been so much more focused on yourself, it's almost like a lot more people are just drawn to you. Like, man, I haven't heard from pile number 2 in a while. Like, I wonder what they're doing. So I feel like you're like the type of person that has a lot of exes that think about you. And it's really hard, because like when they don't, say for instance, like, okay, you have a couple of exes that have never gotten over you, pile number 2, and they think about you often from time to time, or like certain song will come on and they'll think about you, or they'll just kind of go throughout their life and like you'll just pop in their head at random times. And some of them, maybe they have reached out to you, but I feel like there's quite a bit of you that they have not reached out to you. And it's only because they are either ashamed of how they ended things with you, or they're just afraid of coming back and being rejected. Because I feel like you're a kind of a different person than what you once were when you first dated them, because you're a little bit more confident now. You come off very confident, and I get this because like I said, with that high priestess, I feel like you guys doubt yourself a lot and you question yourself a lot. But a lot of people, they think you're very confident and you come off very confident. And so I think that another thing is like exes or people that have once dated you, they maybe feel really intimidated because they're like, well, I can't just come back to pile number 2 again. And if I do, then I need to have like some good excuse. And so some of them are just really afraid to just like come forward and just tell you how they feel, or that they still have feelings for you. And not only that, but you might have had friends that are like, so you know what it's like when you date somebody, but then you're friends with their friends, and then you break up, and then maybe say like you're still kind of friends with their friends. They're keeping tabs on you. I just feel like I needed to say that for some of you guys. They might be keeping tabs on you because they're like, man, what's pile number 2 up to? So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're just kind of coming off as very desirable at this time. And I don't know if you guys are just changing up like your routine, and I feel like for some of you guys, I know this is like a random message, but if you guys like changed your shampoo, or you're changing something about your hair, you've been working on your hair and it's been healthier, it's glowing more, people are noticing that about you. I feel like you guys have just spent a little bit of extra money on yourself. And whether that's with clothes or, beauty products, or just even furthering your education. Like some of you guys, you're just taking courses, you're learning more, you're just putting more time and energy into yourself. And that is really making you guys attractive, because a lot of people right now, to be honest with you, they don't actually put in a whole lot of effort into themselves. There's a lot of people out there that just focus on other people. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you realized, like, man, I don't want to be a people pleaser. And I think you guys might have been like that, but now you're kind of, like I said, you're really putting that effort and love into yourself, because I think you've been burned by people, pile number 2. You've been hurt by a lot of people, especially exes. And now you're like, man, especially if you're single right now, you guys might have been like, man, I don't want to date for a little while. And people are just like you have no idea how many people are waiting and watching and is lined up to date you. Or check your social media. Like, people are always paying attention to you, pile number 2. You're like a star. You're kind of coming off like that star-like quality, because you guys stop focusing on others and you put that effort into yourself. Like I said, I feel like you guys, one of the things that people think about you is, man, you're just that friend that's always there for them. And I feel like even though you're still there for people, you have still pulled back some of your energy, and you have worked towards just bettering yourself. And I think that is making a lot of people insecure and a lot of people really jealous. And I feel like that is something that is kind of just showing up in your guys' life, is like you're noticing that some people are jealous of you now, and other people have pulled back their energy. So it's like weird, because your friend group right now might be kind of like in and out. Like maybe you'll hear from them, or like you used to hang out with them like all the time, and now you're only hanging out with them once in a while. And it's just because you're so focused on yourself right now, and you're just trying to better yourself, that some people will take offense to that, and other people, they are just giving you that time and that space that you need. And I feel like you guys have just been so caught up in your life right now, because I think a lot of stuff is happening in your life, that it's another thing that's just kind of attractive, is because people just don't have access to you like they once did, and that's attractive. And not only that, but again, I feel like I said, you guys have been putting in money, or have just been pouring more into yourself. Man, I just feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but it's really true. It's like you guys are just really coming off very like what they say, like, you're your own star. Like, sometimes people, when we focus so much on one person, or we treat them better, it's like you're not the star of your own show anymore. And now it's like you're bringing your focus back to yourself, and now it's like you're the star of your own show, you're the star of your own life, and it's just bringing people to you, and it's bringing like other stuff to you too. So you're going to start noticing, pile number 2, that money is might start trickling in, that people that, exes or certain people might want to come back into your life. And even if they don't, it's like they think about it. There's a difference between thinking about it and then taking the action. But I also feel like a lot of you guys, you used to be that type of person where you get, and I still feel like you're in that process currently right now, pile number 2, that maybe you think like you want to do something, but you just keep thinking about it and not taking the action. And now I feel like this pile, you guys are starting to take action. You're like, you know what? I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do things that I want to do now. I'm not going to just sit in the sidelines and just be somebody else's cheerleader. Like, you used to just be that huge supportive network for a lot of people, and you just weren't getting that back. And so now you're just doing that for yourself. It's like you're cheerleading for yourself, and it's like you're starting to put yourself out there more, and you're starting to be more bold, and that is what's causing people to really pay attention to you, because your energies are changing, and it's like your life is going to change. I feel like some of you guys might even get new group of friends. Like, you guys are going to start changing a lot of things. Like, either you're going to get a new group of friends, or you're going to get a new job, or you're going to change the way you look, or you're just changing from the inside out. So a lot of you guys are going through a lot of death and rebirth cycles. And I feel like whatever this pain is, it's going to eventually start to go and fade away, because I think one of the reasons why you guys were in so much pain is because you put a lot of trust and faith into the wrong type of people when you should have been putting the faith and trust into yourself. And I think you're kind of coming to that realization, pile number 2. And honestly, don't be afraid to take your time to trusting people. You know, we should always trust ourselves first and foremost. And know that not everybody deserves your trust, and trust is earned. It's not just given. And I feel like you guys are at that point too, where you're starting to like, oh, can I trust this one friend? Can I trust this person? So you guys are kind of in that phase right now. And I think that that's also going to help guide you guys into a better situation in the long run for my pile number 2s. And I think that this is something that, you know, is something that you have been wanting to do for a while. So I'm going to pull a card for you guys. It's the power of love. But yeah, I really feel like good things are coming in for you guys. I just really think peace and happiness. Just you want to be happy. And I think that's like your end goal here. And your goal is to find that. And I feel like you are going to. Just by how much you have been putting in the work in yourself. So we have here peacefulness. You recognize the balance, kindness, and love brings calmness to your soul. Yeah, you guys are just like, you're calming your nerves down, especially when I said you guys were really anxious. I feel like you've been putting in a lot of effort and a lot of work into not being so anxious and not always second guessing yourself. And I feel like that is really bringing in a lot of peace into your life. We also have here joy. You delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. That's what I'm saying. You guys, everybody, like I said, people wait for you. When people are going to go out and do stuff, they're like, no, we can't go out and do that without pile number 2. You know, where's pile number 2? Like, you're that person that people, they really enjoy your company. They really like to have you around, pile number 2. And I feel like, again, you're just very peaceful. You have this very peaceful, loving energy about you. And I feel like you guys are getting to that point where you're going to start really radiating that on the outside, and people are going to be even more drawn to you. So we also have here acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. And that's what I was saying with that, like, the 8 of Cups too, and that Fool card. You guys are really... You guys are not afraid to let go of things that aren't serving you anymore. And that's what I was saying, that you might like let go of situations or people. You might let go of jobs, different things. So you guys are finding what is actually going to be better for you, because, you know, what works for one person is not going to always work for another person. And I feel like for you guys, you're coming to this realization like, man, I really need to start putting in effort and work and love into myself, and that you're no longer just trying to be that way. So you're really pushing yourself. And I feel like that is something that is very attractive about you, is you don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to stay stagnant. And, you know, a lot of people, they settle. And I feel like for this pile, you guys do not want to settle. You guys have so much love and fight in you that I feel like you guys are not afraid to go for what you want. And I just really get that for this pile. You guys have worked really hard on yourselves, and it's starting to really show. And I feel like too, like, instead of, like I said, I think in the past you guys might have chased exes, or you might have chased people, and now you're not doing that anymore. It's like you're staying grounded in yourself. You're saying, no, I need to work through these insecurities. I need to do what I need to do. And because of that, it just makes you so much more attractive. And I just feel like for a lot of you guys too, you just have a very attractive body. Like I said, I don't know if you like work out or what, but a lot of people they find you very attractive. Like, you look fit, or you look like you are I don't know if you're just like really tall. For some of you guys, you're just really tall, or you're just very slender. You know, like you might be really skinny. And if you're not, then it's like the way that your body is distributed with like fat and just like because everybody has fat, obviously, like, so I'm not saying like you're fat, but what I mean is like, you know, this is so weird how I'm saying this, but like you have, say for instance, if you're not like skinny, you might have like thicker hips or bigger boobs or a bigger butt. And so it's like the way that your weight distributes in your body is very beautiful, is very physically appealing, is what I'm trying to say here. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you know, you're a lot of people's dream guy, dream girl. You kind of come off like the girl next door kind of vibes. You're just very fun and loving. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, when you are around people, you try to give off that free-flowing, loving, happy-go-lucky energy. And when you're by yourself, you are very serious and you take time out and you really focus on your end goals. And so it's kind of attractive because, you know, it's like you're one way in front of everybody, but behind closed doors, when it's just you, you're a different way. And it's like for you, you enjoy having fun with people, you enjoy going out and socializing. But at the same time, you guys also enjoy your alone time, or you enjoy spending time for yourself. Like, you might be the type of people that are not afraid to go out to dinner by yourself, or to go shopping by yourself, you know, or to go do things by yourself. And people find that very attractive because a lot of people, they have to take people with them everywhere they go. Like, they're just so afraid to like leave the house without somebody. And I feel like you guys are just very adventurous, and you love to just learn new things or explore new stuff. Like, you just don't like to stay stuck. You're the type of people that you like to keep yourself busy. You don't want to just be sitting there twiddling your thumbs and not doing anything, you know? So that's kind of the energy that you guys give off. We also have here virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. Exactly. So you growing, you expanding in yourself, you're giving other people the courage and other people the excuses to actually go out and do things for themselves too. Because a lot of people are just afraid to rock the boat in their life. They're afraid to go out and accomplish different things. But you give people the go ahead. Like, you show people that it's okay to be different. It's okay to change. It's okay to evolve. Because a lot of times too, a lot of people don't want to change, and a lot of people don't want to evolve. And so, but it's also because the people that they're around don't evolve. And so it's almost like they feel kind of stuck. But you're the type of person that you just don't want to feel stuck. You hate the idea of feeling like you're not doing anything or growing. And because of that, it's like it's such a huge inspiration that is such an attractive quality that you obtain, pile number 2, that I don't think you realize how many people look up to you or how many people love to be in your energy, because it's like it gives them this high, like this, oh my gosh, I can do anything kind of vibe. Or, you know, if pile number 2 sees me in this way, then I know I can do this too. Like, so you just really inspire people to grow and to change. And I feel like you're the type of friend that's very supportive. You're the type of person that you try to uplift others instead of tearing other people down. And I think that's another reason why you're so beautiful. All right, so let's pull the last cards here. It is the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. I just feel like it's very fitting. Kuan Yin is a very amazing person. So she's like this goddess that walks around the earth showing mercy to others. And even though, because she hates to see people in pain. And so I really like Kuan Yin, and I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've had to go through life learning to have to forgive. Not necessarily to forgive others, but I feel like you've just had to accept and forgive life circumstances and just yourself. And so I feel like you're that type of person that maybe you really work towards showing more of your loving side. You just try your hardest to be kind to everyone, to yourself. And I feel like I said, like, you guys, you're just very loving people. And you bring a lot of peace into people's life, and you bring a lot of joy into people's lives. And like I said, you give people permission to shine, permission to be themselves. And that is something that is just really attractive about you guys. So we have here the sister of the star blossoms. Whilst we each take our own journey to divine bliss and truth, we have soul friends that love us unconditionally and wish to help us find our way home with the least suffering and greatest joy. When we allow ourselves to be helped, we help others too. It is a spiral of support and love that wishes to connect more with you now. Yeah. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might really just have a decent friend group or just people around you that actually care about you. And if, say, for instance, pile number 2, if you're not finding people really like that, I feel like you're going to. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're always going to be evolving. You're always going to be growing and changing. And that is something that is probably the most attractive quality, because you know how many people wish that they could do that, would want to do that. And like I said, I feel like you give people the inspiration and the hope and the joy to actually go out and do that for themselves as well. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, just keep shining, just keep being who you are, because not only are people around you grateful that you are the way that you are and that you're so loving and supporting, but also you're going to bring in more people that are going to love you unconditionally. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's what makes you guys really attractive, is how bold and how fierce you are, how you're not afraid to go out there and go after the things you want to do, how your biggest goal in life is to feel happiness, is to feel the peace and the joy. Is like, I feel like you guys just really want to better yourself, and because of that, you want the best for others and you try to better other people. And that's really so uplifting and so encouraging. And I feel like a lot of people, they really, really like you and they really wish that they could date you or be with you. And I feel like you're just this partner. Like I said, you're just like the whole package, pile number 2. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you just come off like the full package. You just come off as somebody that is so loving and so amazing to be with. And I feel like that really just makes a lot of people happy to have you in their life. So that is a beautiful. Thank you guys so much, pile number 2, for tuning in. Hopefully this resonates for you guys. Have a great and wonderful day. Thank you so much, pile 2. Bye. All right, for those of you who have picked pile number 3, this is going to be your reading on why you're so attractive. So if you chose the Mystic Manga Tarot deck or the NYX Lingering XXL, this will be your guys' reading. I think it's really beautiful. So yeah, let's get started here. What makes my pile number 3s so attractive? Makes my pile number 3s so attractive. All right, pile number 3. What makes you guys so attractive? So we have the Page of Swords, the Lovers, the Queen of Wands, Justice, the Nine of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Swords, and then we have the Six of Wands. So what makes my pile number 3 so attractive? For right off the bat, I'm already feeling that what makes you guys so attractive is you just give off this like husband or wife material. you guys just seem like the type of people that would be very loyal, very dedicated to your partner, very kind and caring. You guys come off as well as very thoughtful on how you try to say things. So you're not the type of person that just blunts out exactly what you think. You try to take a time to think like, how is this going to make somebody feel if I say it like this or like that? Like, you're very considerate of other people. One of the things that I notice as well is that a lot of you guys have gone through a lot of unfair treatment in your life, and you've been around a lot of people that have caused a lot of um just hurt and pain. And I think that you guys have been in your head a lot over something in your past not going in the way you would like. For some of you guys, maybe you've been cheated on, or you just had some kind of sense of betrayal from a friend group or from somebody that you cared about. And I feel like for a lot of you, that is something that it's not that that makes you attractive, but it's just that the way that you handled the situation, I feel like you could have handled it so much worse than what you did, and the people around you noticed. So, for instance, say you were with somebody and they cheated on you. Um, you handled it with a lot more grace than I think most people around you would have. And so a lot of people find that very attractive about you, because they're like, man, if I was in pile number three's position, I would not have handled it as well as they did. So you guys just come off very well established in a way. I'm also getting to that you guys, uh, even though you've gone through something that was an injustice in your life, you still came out on top. And I feel like it's because you did not let that define you. And that's one thing that's very attractive about you. So you're the type of person that when something bad happens to you, yes, you have your days, you have your time where you're going to like think about it. You're going to feel sorry for yourself. You're going to go through the depression like most people do. But you don't let that define you, and you don't let that hold you back. Because I feel like you're the type of people that like, you'll give yourself that time to mourn. You'll give yourself the time to process what has happened, but you don't allow that to take over your life. And I don't think that you're the type of person that just has excuses for why you're staying stuck. Like, you might at times be like, man, I have trust issues because of an ex. But even though you're aware of that, you still try not to hold the next person that you're with against them, because it's not like it was their fault that you went through that. So it's almost like you acknowledge that, but you still, like, you have everybody's not perfect, obviously, but I feel like you guys really work on letting go and healing through the issues that you had, because the truth of the matter is like, you did not deserve what has happened to you, but you're also aware that you've played a part in that role as well. It's not like you're just blaming them for everything that that person has said or done. It's like you're taking accountability for the parts of yourself that could have handled the situation better, or that has gone through that. You're like, man, it takes two people to cause an issue. You know, it takes two to tango. Like, you're aware of that, and you're just not that type of person that just, like I said, that just kind of blames the other individual. Like, you take accountability for yourself too. In fact, sometimes you might even get into the habit of taking all the responsibility, and that's kind of a bad, obviously. Not everything is your fault, but I feel like you know when you have caused an issue. So you're the type of person, pile number 3, that what makes you really attractive is that you just have this it's like you have your morals. Like, you're the type of person that doesn't bend your morals. Because, like, say for instance, like, you could get this job raise that you want, but would require you to maybe screw somebody else over. You wouldn't do that, because you're the type of person that like tries to have fairness in your life. You have a lot of morals in your life too that you live by, and you kind of follow life through your own set of rules that you set for yourself. Like, you just don't just like, oh, I have an opportunity to get this but it might mess up a bunch of people. You're not just going to take that opportunity just because it's going to give you a better advantage. Like, you're very conscientious of those around you. You're very caring and loving to those around you. And I feel like you really care about people. So you try really hard not to hold other people, like hold that against other people. You know what I mean? Like, you try to be very fair and very careful about how you go about life, because I think some of you guys have gone through a lot of injustices in your life, or have just gone through a lot of hardships, and you're the type of person that's like, man, I just don't want to like cause that for other people. Like, maybe there was one person in your life that was really significant that really hurt you, and you realize that you didn't want to be like that person. You didn't want to cause, like, you know what it was like to feel the pain. You don't want to have other people feel that pain because you caused that, right? So you're trying your hardest to be kind of careful about that. You don't really want to press too many people on that. And I feel like that is something that you guys are really consciously aware of. Another thing too is, for a lot of you guys, if you're in a relationship, your partner that you're with now, they see you as a very loyal, caring person. But I just feel like you are very contented with your partners. And I feel like a lot of people, even people that don't really know you, they kind of get that vibe from you. Like, man, this person would be a really good spouse or a really good person to date, because I feel like they would be very contented and loving and caring towards me. So I feel like in a way that's very desirable, because you come off as like, and don't get me wrong here, okay, everybody is selfish. It's just human nature to be selfish, but to what extent are you selfish, you know? So for you guys, maybe you're even a little bit selfless at times, which I feel like you could work on not being as selfless to people, because I feel like you guys need to be a little bit more selfish at times. But you guys really do consider other people's opinions, and you really do consider, like, you weigh out the pros and cons in life. You don't just go, oh, I want this so for me, so I'm just going to do it without thinking about your partner. You know what I mean? Like, you're the type of person that would consult your partner first on lifelong decisions or on things that you're making. And I feel like a lot of people really like that about you. Another thing too, pile number 3, is I feel that a lot of you guys, you kind of come off, and it's kind of hard to explain, because I feel like you guys, people don't understand this about you. Like, you get in your head a lot. You question yourself a lot. You might even worry about what people think about you. But in the end of the day, you do what you can do so that you can sleep good at night. You know what I mean? Like, you work towards winning, and how you win might not be how other people perceive winning. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, man, like, say for instance, like, whoever has betrayed you in your life, pile number 3, you still came out on top. Not only did this person like mess with you and really hurt you and maybe even stooped to low levels, you kept yourself cleaned. You kept yourself with your head held high. You didn't go down to this person's level. You're the type of person that doesn't, like, maybe you used to be the type of person that used to argue with people a lot just to try and get your point across. Like, no, I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. And you would always just try and like over-explain yourself. And now you don't do that as much. Now you're just like, no, I'm setting a boundary here. Like, you're working on your boundaries right now. You're working on not caring so much about what people think of you. Because I think that used to really rule your life, pile number 3. And now it's like, what's attractive about you is you're no longer doing that, or you're at least working out of that. So people around you are seeing it. And I feel like that makes some people angry. And those are the only people that are actually like trying to take advantage of you that would get angry about that. But what I mean is, like, a lot of people find that attractive, that you don't just stoop to people's low level. Like if somebody's being rude to you, if somebody is like speaking out of your character, you might either just say, okay, I'm done talking to you, or you just ignore them, but you don't go down to that person's level anymore. Like maybe you used to be that person where, like I said, you try to justify your actions, or you try to justify or what you're saying or what you're thinking, or you over explained yourself a little bit too much. And now pile number 3, it's like you're just not doing that anymore. You're working on that. You're like, man, I don't really need to over explain myself. And it's almost like you're just kind of, you're reaching to that point where you're still so kind and generous. I just feel like this is a very feminine energy. I'm not really even picking up masculine energy on this pile. I feel like it's very feminine and it's very soothing energy. And I feel like you just have this way with people where people might want to try and take advantage of you. And maybe, like I said, you've been taken advantage of, you've been hurt in the past, but now you're kind of willing to kind of cut people off. But you still kind of come at life as though you are like you're trying to be fair and just. So you just have this sense of what is right and what is wrong, and you live by those rules. And people do admire that about you, because you don't just, like I said, like, some people, they have loose morals, and a lot of people, they might not even question their morals or why they have them. They just were taught a certain way, and then that's just how they live life. But you guys, you take time out and you really reflect on yourself, and you really reflect on your life. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you just come off like very loving and very caring. And I feel like you're the type of person that you kind of keep to yourself a lot. You might not really talk to a whole lot of people. I just kind of get the feeling like you, for instance, I don't know, I just keep getting the vibe like you're a mother, or like you're in a relationship. Like you just feel like that type of person that would just be a great parent or like a great spouse, because you're just so, like, you have a big heart and you have such a loving energy and presence about you, that I feel like you have a way of speaking and a way of talking to people that kind of helps soothe people and help people calm down. Like people might get anxious or have a lot of depression, and then when you come around, you might just say 1 or 2 words and you might not think much about it, pile number 3, but you end up touching that person's life. You end up like helping that person see the beauty in themselves because of just how you worded something, or how you took a time out of your day to give that person love and attention. And I feel like you have no idea how much that actually means to a lot of people. So I feel like you just kind of come off like this really loving, nurturing, caring individual. And I feel like that is what's really attractive about you, is how gentle your approach is. It just feels like a very gentle approach to life. I'm just not getting anything super forceful or anything really hard. But I do get that for a lot of you guys, you have maybe this deep sorrow inside yourself. There's something here that is something that you need to mourn or grieve. And you have like this touch of sadness. And I'm not saying that that makes you attractive, but in a way it kind of does, because people can sense like you're a good, loving person and that's attractive, but then there's this touch of sadness. So it's like people see that and they think, man, like it's almost like you're just very poetic. You just come off very, like, I don't even think it's the way you talk necessarily. It's just the way you look, the way you act, the way you move. It's very gentle, it's very soft, it's very nurturing, and it just comes off very poetic in a way. It's like a very beautiful energy. And I'm also getting to that for a lot of you guys, you have, I don't know if you guys have bangs. I feel like you guys might have bangs in your hair. And a lot of people like your bangs. They think it frames your face very nicely, the way that you wear your hair. I'm also getting to like the bone structure of your face. It's very soft and very unique. So you have a very, like, maybe you have like a heart-shaped face, or just a very soft features. You have very soft features. So I just feel like for a lot of you guys, you also might wear a lot of, like, say for instance, like pastel colors or just very soft, gentle colors. I don't know. I just, with this, I just feel like you guys really are very soft and gentle and very nurturing, and you just come off that way. And, if this is even a guy tuning in, it's just you're very in touch with your feminine energy. It just feels like you're very in touch with your emotions and just the way that you appear to people. You're not very forceful. You try not to force your opinions or force who you are on other people. Like, I think that you realized that there's no point in that. There's no point in trying to force your opinion on other people, because I think for some of you guys, like, maybe you wanted to change people's opinions, you wanted to change people, and you still probably do to some extent, but you're learning, and you have been learning to let go of these control issues that maybe you could have had when you were younger. Because I just feel like for my pile number 3, it's like you guys really had to learn hard lessons, or you've been around a lot of people that have taught you a lot about yourself, and now it's like you're just not as, it's like you're done fighting with a lot of people. You just want to be happy. And I feel like for you guys, peace is like really what I'm getting. Like, you really want to just have a tranquil life. You don't want to really have a whole lot of arguments or anything like that. So I feel like you guys, you live kind of a quiet life because you don't really want to go out and say, you're like, I'm not getting that this is my go out and party pile. I get that this is like my, I'm a home buddy, like, you're just kind of that person that, like, maybe you have a small group of friends or you have a family. Like, for you, your main focus is family and friends, and just caring about those that are worth your time. Because I think that for a lot of you guys, like I said, you've just been hurt a lot in your life, and you're done dealing with a lot of people that just cannot reciprocate that back to you. And so, like I said, I think you guys, you just want to live like a simple life. You guys might be the pile that, I'm not saying like you guys are like, what is it called? Minimalists, but like you might have a little bit of that mentality. Like, you're just kind of, you're very like, you care about the earth, you care about nature, and that's really attractive about you, because you really care about preserving nature, preserving the world. Like, you're the type of people that you really think about stuff that matters in life, and you might even talk about that kind of stuff to people, like, like eating healthier or doing better. Like, you guys are just focusing on what is important in your life and how you can make it better. And that's about, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't leave room for a lot of people to come in and mess up your life. And that's really attractive about you guys, because you're very reclusive. You're very careful about what you say, what you do. You just don't want to cause any issues, because you're just the type of person that you just want to live a peaceful existence. You don't want to have to fight with people and argue with people. And I feel like maybe your whole life you've had a lot of confrontation, or you've dealt with a lot of people like that. And so you're just trying to let go of things that would cause you to have those issues. So let's pull some playing cards just to get further energy. I mean, I don't really need to, but I like to. But I just feel like you guys, you're focused on the outcomes that you want. And even though I get that you guys might, and I feel like some of you guys might even have social anxiety, or you are just always up in your head a lot and you think a lot. And maybe people don't really notice that, but you learn to manage it. You learn to deal with it. Even though you have like your bad days, you still try to stay optimistic. I also feel like a lot of people have tried to beat down your self-worth. Pile number 3, you've been around people who have tried to stomp out the light inside of you, and I think that really just really injured you, really hurts you. And I think that's another reason too why you just really try to keep to yourself, because you just don't want to deal with people's drama. And the truth is too is for a lot of you guys, like, I feel like my pile number 3s, you have this, it's like maybe you used to, like, I don't know how to explain it. You are just, you kind of come off, not like timid, but I guess this is the way I want to put it. You smooth rough edges on people over time. You're literally like water. Water is like considered, obviously, water is not weak because there can be a rush of water, people can get swept in the undertones. Like, water is dangerous. But for me, it's like, have you ever seen like a very gentle stream? And you'll have like a rock there, and over time, it'll smooth out that rock. You're that type of person. Because you might have dealt with people that are really rude or really terrible, and then them being around you long enough, it's like you wear down on people, and you smooth out the rough edges of people. And I think you've done that for yourself too. It's like you've polished yourself up. You're the person that, like, you put yourself in, like, you have so much power, but you do it in such a gentle and such a way that it's like you don't have to prove yourself too much with people, and that's kind of what makes you very attractive. Because for you guys, it's like you just take it one day at a time and you keep working on yourself, and it's like you wear down people around you because they see how, like, you're not trying to, like I said, you used to maybe try and change people, and now you've kind of learning like, oh, I can't really change anybody unless they want to change. And so you just started changing for yourself. And say, for instance, like, you stick to a diet and everyone around you is like, yeah, right, pile number 3 is not going to stick to this diet, but you stick to it, and eventually you're starting to look better and you're actually getting healthier, and it's like you're an example for people. So people are like, wow, maybe I should do that, because, like, that's what I mean by you're like that water that keeps going over the stone, and eventually you start to see progress. And because of that, it's like you have some kind of patience to yourself. There's something about you that comes off as patient. And because you stick to something, or you are just patient with yourself and other people, it starts to make other people want to change. So even if you don't see it, and say somebody around you doesn't talk about it, you're an inspiration to make them want to change for the better without them actually feeling like you're forcing them to. You know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to always prove yourself anymore. You're just doing what you want to do, and it's starting to show people that, oh my gosh, I can do that too. And it's like forcing people to heal that. It's forcing people to see that they don't always have to make it such a difficult thing. And I feel like that's something that you guys have been really working on and really have tried to bring forward in your relationships with people around you. So you're just like, for a lot of people, you're like this guiding light that shows people how they can improve. And you're not in their face about it anymore. Like, maybe you're the type of person that's like, oh, I learned something, and you just wanted to show it and explain it and just like try and help people evolve. And then you realize, man, that's not really changing people. So you're just doing it for yourself now. And it's like people are aware of that. It's like, it's so funny because when you try to show people like, oh man, look at what I can do, or look, I've learned about this, and you want to so eagerly show people, they don't care, they don't listen, they don't want to know. And then when you're just quiet about it and you just do it and then they see results, then they all of a sudden they care and they want to know. I feel like that's how it is with you guys. Like, you make people want to evolve. I also feel like you guys maybe have a very curious mind, so you really like to learn new things, and you start off doing new things too. You guys might be like my creative pile where and you might not really show off your art or show off the things that you create, but you create really beautiful stuff. Like, if you're doing art, or if you're like designing clothes, or I feel like you guys are just very creative, and maybe you even have a job that requires you to think outside the box or be creative in some way. I just feel like, again, you guys just really kind of keep to yourselves. So a lot of people don't know much about you. You're kind of very mysterious. And I think that's another reason why you're very attractive, is because you're very mysterious. But people do like your bangs, they like your hair, they like your smile. A lot of people really like the way that you smile. They find that very attractive. And a lot of you guys, like, I don't know, this is going to be for some of you, like, maybe when you were younger you had braces, or you just have really straight teeth. People like that about you. People like that you keep good hygiene, like you take care of your hygiene. Like, you are the type of person that always makes sure that you have perfume and deodorant on before you leave, or cologne, and like you try to always make sure your clothes are cleaned and pressed. Like, you just take care of your appearance. I'm also getting to that a lot of you guys, like, if you are a mom, you focus on being a mom, or a dad, you focus on that. You focus on things that are so important to you that you don't even realize, like, other people. Like, I just feel like you guys are the type of people that just does not feed into drama. That does not pay attention to drama. And that is very attractive about you, because maybe you're around people that, like, some people that just, like, they gossip all the time and that's all they talk about is other people. And you're not really like that. When you talk about yourself, you always you try to talk more about yourself, or you always try and talk more about things that are going on, instead of, or like even ideas, instead of always gossiping about other people. So you guys are just very reserved in that way. And if you do talk about people, you always try to say something positive. Even if you're saying something negative about them, you always say, like, well, I'm not trying to gossip. Like, you're always just very careful about what you're saying, because you know that sometimes people will just take that and run with it, and then they'll just spread lies or rumors. And so you're just very careful. And I feel like that's another reason why you're so attractive. I also get to that a lot of you guys, you just, like, you guys, I don't know, this pile is just so, like, uniquely serene. Like, you're just very calm, or even if you're not, your energy is coming off like that in the cards. I just really feel like this calming presence. Like, you have this nurturing essence about you. So I don't know, like, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're just really dedicated to your family. You're just really dedicated to your friends. Like, you're just really focused on those aspects, and I can't, like, it just keeps coming back to me. So I feel like that's something that's very attractive, because I feel like there are some people that wish that they could be your friend. There are some people that wish that they could date you because of that. Also, I feel like you guys dress very modest, or if you do show some skin, it's not like it's inappropriate. Like, maybe, like, like, you dress very modest. You don't just show off all your goods. So you're very careful about like the way that you are perceived maybe outside of your home. Like you take time to look good. And I'm also just getting too is like you're the type of people that don't put on a lot of makeup. If you do wear makeup, you just put on like maybe some mascara, or you know what I mean? Like you don't go overboard with too many things. And I feel like with you guys, that's kind of what I'm getting with this pile. Like you just learn, you kind of learn to pull back and not go overboard on a lot of stuff. So like you're the type of person that's like, yeah, I'll have a piece of cake, but you're not going to have 2 slices. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that like, for a lot of you guys, like you try to have restraint, you try to be a little bit more cautious about your life and what you're doing with your life. Like you don't want just anybody to come in and just wreck your life. So you take good care of yourself. You try to manage things. And I feel like you're the type of person that, like I said, if you are married, like you take care of the house, or you just do stuff that like keeps things running. Like you're a very big support pillar for a lot of people. Like you're the type of person that people are like, "Oh, I know pile 3 has my back." Or if something goes wrong, like you're the person that they call. You're just very reliable, and you're just very loving in that way. So I feel like a lot of people, that's what they think of when they hear your name, or when they think about you. It's like how reliable you are, how loving you are, how you really take time out to make sure that everybody is okay. So you're just really, in that regard, a very loving, caring friend and lover. And I don't know. It's just like it's not like this energy is not in my face. So when I'm reading this, I just feel like it's like I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's because you guys are just, you focus on what is going to be best outcome for you and others. Like I feel like a lot of Libra energy, or just again like a lot of that Venus energy that is emitting from you guys, because I don't feel like you're the type of people that go out and seek for confrontation or seek for a fight. You're very peaceful, and you try to stay that way. So I feel like you're content with the life that you're in, and people feel that with you. They're like, man, pile number 3 seems very happy with the life that they're in. And even if, say, for instance, like obviously we always want to change something, we always want something else in our life. And that's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying to you guys is like, you are happy, you just appear like you're happy with where you are. You're content with what you're doing. Like even if you don't like your job, you do it well, or you come off like you like your job. So people, when they see you, they're like, oh, hey, it's pile number 3, and they get excited, and they know that you're always a kind person, so they never have to really worry too much. Like you're just always that person that you just seem very, even when you're having a bad day, you try not to make that other people's problems. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, even when you're having a bad day, you just don't want to drag other people into it. You don't want to make other people feel bad because you're feeling bad. So you're the type of person that, like, you might really enjoy your alone time. I just kind of get that you guys are a little bit of an introvert. You might not really be that much of an extrovert. You might not really like to go out and just mingle with a bunch of people. Like you're just, like I said, you're very reserved and very quiet, or just put together in a way. And even if you do talk to people and stuff, like, I don't know, you take your time for yourself. You take time out for yourself. People appreciate you for how kind and generous you are. And also, I feel like you're the type of person that when somebody tells you something, like, oh, my son got hurt today and I'm really worried about, and then like the next time you see him, they're like, oh, how is your son doing? And people love that about you, because you always remember a lot of things about people. Like I feel like this is the pile that has like a good memory, or you're just really good at remembering people and what they're saying. And so like if you have a job, you might be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? How is your wife? How is your husband? You'll like like that person that you're just very friendly and you always remember things about people, and that really makes people feel special. That really makes people feel unique about themselves. And so I feel like you're that person. And I think that that really just makes you guys stand out too, is because of how much you think about other people and put other people, it's like you make people feel special. It's like you're not afraid to let other people shine around you, and you're not afraid to, like, it's almost like you're the type of person that just, like, I don't know how to explain. Like, if, say, for instance, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you would talk the best about them. Oh, my husband does this for me. My boyfriend does that for me. Like, you always, or, my girlfriend does this and that. Like, you're always that person that tries to uplift others, and you try to talk the best about other people. And I think that this pile, you've worked on trying not to complain so much, because it's like a habit. It's really hard not to complain. And I feel like for you guys, you've worked on trying not to talk so much about negativity or talk about things that you can't change. So in your head, you're like, well, if I can't change this, then I shouldn't be thinking about it. So it's almost like you're trying to break old habits, and habits that that are not serving you. And that's another thing that's just really attractive about you guys, is you just don't come off as that person that is ungrateful. You are very great. You show a lot of love and gratitude for the things that people do, instead of complaining about what they did wrong. Like, even if you had at times, you don't do it like the average person. So that's something that's very attractive about you, is that a lot of people notice that about you. And I think that's another reason why people are like, man, this is like husband or wife material, because you're just so grateful for the people in your life, and you're not always complaining, and you're not always like just trying to force people to change or force people to do certain things. And so it's just really attractive. It's just really, really attractive. And like I said, I feel like you wear a lot of soft colors, like maybe even pastel, just very, it's like colors that are kind of soft, like that are kind of bright but kind of dull at the same time. Like, you just wear very soft colors. And you just come off super soft and loving and nurturing. And I think that you might even intimidate some women, or say, for instance, if like you're a woman, you might intimidate other women around you, because maybe their husbands or people that they're around look at you. And you just it's almost like you threaten people in their dating life, As stupid as that is, like, they're like, oh no, pile number 3 could steal my man, That kind of energy. You just feel like the person that is just, I feel like, again, you just mind your own business. You don't think about things like that. You're a very loyal person. You think about the ones that you care about the most. I also feel like you might just be the type of people that don't necessarily have a wandering eye, when you date. So, I'm going to pull here the power of love. But yeah, you just are very calming energy. And I just feel like you're very aesthetically pleasing to look at too. And even the way you talk, maybe you talk soft, you talk softly, or you're not very loud. You're just not a very loud person. And I think that is something that people find attractive about you, because it's nothing wrong with being a loud person or anything, but I feel like sometimes some people are obnoxiously loud, like they're really trying to get that attention, but it's like you almost come off like you're not seeking validation, or you're not seeking approval, even if, say, you are, because everybody wants approval, everybody wants validation, but you just don't come off like the type of person that you're trying to, like, you're not making a fool of yourself to get the attention or the validation, you know? Like how some people are like that. So we have peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Yes. And that's really what I'm saying. And it's so funny is like when I started tapping into so the last reading, I felt like I had all this like energy and like, yeah, I'm going to go and like, you're going to just do this and that. Like, I just felt like I was just so enthusiastic. And in this reading, I feel like I'm even talking calmer and like, you know, because I just feel so calm in this energy. And I just feel like you really can do that for people. And people who are always like, go, 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 and they're always hurrying and doing things, it's like you teach them to calm down. You teach them to slow down in life. Like, you're not always in a rush. You just don't come off like the type of person that's in a rush, you know? You're the one that will, like, maybe, like, go and smell the roses and maybe even do a little detour because you got time, you know? So you're just that person. We also have here vision. No matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. Yeah, and I feel like for a lot of you guys, you have been very hurt by people. And I feel like that it didn't take away from you. If anything, it just made you more beautiful because you are learning to not hold grudges. Like you realize to yourself, like, here's the thing, even if you don't want to forgive this person, it's like you are choosing to look at the bigger picture of life. You're choosing to say to yourself, listen, I don't want to hold on to this anymore because I love myself too much. So it's like you're choosing to be kind. You're choosing to be loving. You're choosing to be calm, you know, and this is and it takes skill. It takes work and dedication. It's not like it's easy to be calm all the time or it's easy to be loving all the time, but you try. It's like you dedicate that to being a daily thing for you. And I feel like that's what's so attractive about you is that you're the type of person that you don't want to let other things from the past hold you back. And it's like you keep that vision in your mind of whatever picture you have that you want, like whether this is like a family or something in your life here, pile number 3, that you want, you hold that vision. And I feel like you hold it close to your heart. And I feel like you always, when life throws curveballs at you, you always try to handle it with the utmost grace and with respect. And I feel like you always try to make things fair. And I feel like you're just that type of person. And people really admire that about you and they really love that about you. And I feel like that's just super attractive. And I don't know, there's something about the quiet, strong type that's really attractive, even like for women too. It's just like something about like you know, the ones that sometimes are really quiet and don't talk much or is just really calm all the time. There's just something about that that's very attractive and just very like interesting that makes people like, man, this person's very mysterious. So you just kind of come off very mysterious. Pile number 3. And only the people that deserve to be in your circle or the people that deserve to get to know you more are the only ones that get to truly see the depth of who you are. So we have cooperation. Yeah. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. And that's what I mean, is like you're really good at cooperating with people and you really try to make people feel special. You know, you care about people, you listen to people when they tell you stories about themselves. Like, I feel like you guys are really good listeners and that's really attractive and people really like having conversations with you, pile number 3. So I feel like you just really bring a lot of peace and joy into people's life because you are just so kind-hearted and you don't let the world change you. You don't let the world shape you because you could have been bitter. You could have been an awful person, but you're choosing not to be. You're choosing to live a peaceful life and a peaceful existence because you wanted that and you're trying to make that your vision and your reality. And I feel like you work very well with people. So we also have here self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. Yeah, I feel like you guys take time out to love and nurture yourselves too. So I just feel like you guys come off as like this beautiful, loving, caring person who takes time to better themselves and to love yourself. And I just feel like you really are that type of person that just, like I said, you just don't want to hurt other people. But you also are the type of person to withdraw when you feel like you need to. So you just take good care of yourself. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you might have like, I don't know why, but with that self-love card, I feel like you guys might actually like take really good care of like your skin, or like take really good care of yourself. Like, again, hygiene. I feel like a lot of people notice that about you. Like, you always have like good hygiene, and I just, yeah, that's just things that are very attractive about you. So I'm going to pull the Kuan Yin Oracle deck here. And Kuan Yin is all about the love, peace, forgiveness. She like wanders the earth. She's like this being that's like this goddess that can never die. She just wanders the earth, giving love and kindness to those that need it, because she saw how much the world was suffering and she wanted to bring forth peace and love. And I felt like this was appropriate to use this deck, so I wanted to bring forth any messages. You got 2, and every pile only got 1, so you guys are special, pile number 3. Also, just the art styles are so beautiful in these decks. So we have here the Tao. The Tao is always flowing, always nourishing life into creation, always presenting steps and solutions, and always reminding us that we are perfect in this moment. You are being guided to relax and allow life to flow. Feel the joy of release and the wonder of how easy life can be when you let go of fear and control. And that's what I was saying. I feel like that's what you guys been working towards, is releasing fears, releasing controlling of other people. And I think that is another reason why you're so beautiful and so attractive. We also have here weave the future golden. Something good is coming your way. Kuan Yin now assists you to weave your future into the present moment, to call in and draw to you the opportunities, teachings, circumstances, and synchronicities that are waiting for you, and which will enable your soul to live its divine destiny with greater abundance, bliss, and creative fulfillment. Yeah, that's really beautiful, you guys. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, this has been a journey that you have gone through, and I think that you have not always been calm. You've not always had this kind of energy, but because you guys have learned to forgive yourself and maybe even others, like, you guys have worked very hard to get to the point that you're at now, pile number 3, and it's very attractive because you guys take the time to learn, and it's like you guys are deserving of love, deserving of blessings and things. So I'm glad to see that card coming its way for you guys. But honestly, what makes you guys so beautiful, pile number 3, is how loving and caring and understanding you are, and how you choose to put peace and love above everything else, even when it's really hard for you to do so. And even though you've been really hurt in the past by other people, you still choose to be a good, loving person. And that's what makes you so attractive. So that's what I have for my beautiful pile number 3s. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.